talented as they were, just didn't get the big hits in the big games consecutive. And you're missing a lot of those good bats, with Nickel, Del Rosario, with Dylan Carter. I can't think of some of the other seniors we had last year. Begley, Austin Begley, L.W. Napier. Those kids were your heart of the order hitters. And for some reason just didn't really hit in that regional tournament game. And I understand you're facing the other team's best usually, or the Pirates will face the other team's best because of the depth of the rotation. They've got to throw their best against Powell County to be able to beat us. So that's what you have to face if you're the Pirates. Again, this is, we look at other sports and say, okay, who do you beat in the 14th region? And then like in basketball, well, it's Hazard, Breathitt, Perry, Knott. In baseball, it's flipped. Hazard, you'd say Hazard is probably still one. Powell County is going to be in that mix every year. Estill County is going to be in that mix every year. Then you have your others with Letcher, Knott, Perry, and throw Breathitt in the mix. You have
even
Wolf County
this year,
yes. And last year as well. Competed with when Matt was there last year. He's again gone on. Doesn't have to change a lot of clothes. Still wearing the same.
That's what I told him. I said that to him. I was like, well, you changed schools, you didn't change colors.
Yes, still got that blue. And again, good to see Matt out here. Again, he was fortunate enough to get to play for me for a while when he was game. And not picking on him, he's just saying, living a couple counties away, coaching at Letcher, living a couple counties away, coaching at Wolf. At some point, he needs to find a home and make that where he is. But he may be one of these guys like I'll call it Brian Dean, that guy that kind of just travels to the job,
right?
And see what you can do. But I think Matt's going to be one of these coaches. That may be very good for some people, and it may work well for Matt. So that may be very good for some people, and it may work well for Matt. So like Frank here, he can be home in 3 minutes after the game's over with.
Right. It definitely makes a difference. You're right. It definitely takes a toll. He did not ride with the team tonight.
That's another element you miss.
Yeah, that bond, but as opposed to it being, 6 hours in a theory, for him it's like 3 hours. I'm just saying as far as like total time, right? Know, it's going to make a difference as far as the actual time. And obviously under the circumstance, you try and build that rapport with your players regardless, right? Whether it's preseason, during the season, practices, traveling, etc. But, yeah, you definitely miss out on a certain little element as far as being on the bus with those guys. But regardless, it's up to the players to come out and actually play, perform.
Correct.
Up to their ability. Obviously, you can make changes as a coach, whether it's going to the mound to kind of calm your pitcher down or whether it's, you're going to put a steal on, a bunt, whatever the situation might be, even to shift. So, obviously, technically, you're involved along those lines. But, again, it still goes back to building that rapport with these students.
Yeah, and at this day and time, we're at the point where, a lot of coaches are hired to coach. They're not just necessarily going to be your teachers. They're going to be hired in as coaches. And it's got its pros and cons. And if you're in the school every day, they see you, you see them, you make those connections. You make it more than just about the game. This is a little bit harder to build those relationships with. I'm not saying you can't do it. It's just a little bit harder to do. And me stepping down this year from coaching softball, it was the right time, I think, for me. However, you still miss the kids. You still miss that camaraderie you have. But for me, being retired for about 10 years, you don't have the same connections that you had when you were in school every day with the kids, and you don't have those connections like you used to. And I can see it as a traveler now. When you come back, say, "What's your name again?" I didn't have you in class, or I don't know a lot about you. So again, there's pros and cons for each one, I guess. They don't get to know you too well either. Would be the pro,
right?
But again, I think baseball to me, or whatever sport it is, your family. This is who you are. This is the family that you have. You're together so much throughout the season. Like I say, the bus rides and the practices and the long practices, whatever it may be. You spend a ton of time with these kids, and you become a family. And they're just kind of in the honeymoon stage. Matches really starting out. So hopefully he'll have a better outcome than he had last night. But let's not hope it's tonight.
Well, and as I was talking with him, earlier, saying again they were up 11-0, He went with somebody that he was unfamiliar with as far as a pitcher, and at that point, they just basically just lit him up. A learning experience, right?
For all.
The circumstance, yeah, for everybody. Again, when you don't necessarily know the personnel from last year's team, right? It's hard to kind of step in and see what you kind of have as far as the evaluation process.
Well, I would say Matt from coaching at Wolf County probably knew enough about Letcher Central if he had to face them, who he wanted to face, what he wanted to know about those players. But if they had graduates last year and he got guys coming back in this year, then you don't know what you have to expect.
Right.
You only see them in practice, and again, it's hard to pitching. It's not always the guy that's throwing in the cage. That guy that's throwing in the cage and on the mound, two total different animals. And the guy that wants that pressure, standing on that hump out there, is the guy you want in games. And sometimes it isn't the same guy that you got just throwing BP or throwing in his throwing session. The guy that wants the ball on the hill,
right?
That's who you start wanting to have out there. So again, that takes time to develop that rapport. It also takes time to develop your pitches. What pitches you're comfortable with? What pitches, as a coach, do you want to see your pitcher throw, and vice versa? What does that pitcher want to throw? What does that catcher want you to throw?
Right.
That kind of development has to happen throughout the season, and I'm sure, as most coaches do, you want to be in charge of the game. You want the best pitches called for your team, and as I always used to try to do, it's on me. If I call this pitch and they hit it, it's on me. It's not on you, as long as you try to hit the spot we're trying to hit. So,
right.
Those are just the things that you got to depend on a 16, 17, 15-year-old at that. And sometimes you got to depend on these young kids to get the job done, and sometimes it just don't happen the way you want to.
Right. Well, we have a chance real quick. Let's go over the lineups for you. First for Letcher County Central. Leading off for them will be number 9, the catcher, Dawson Kinser. Batting second, number 8 in center field, Quentin Williams. Batting third, number 24, the left fielder, Keaton Maggard. Batting fourth, the pitcher, number 16, Andrew Little. Batting fifth, number 5, the first baseman, Clay Hall. Batting sixth, number 1, the shortstop, Mason Boggs. Batting seventh, the right fielder, Brett Smith. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, Kobe Johnson. Batting ninth, the second baseman, Kobe Watts. And batting 10th is the third baseman. Obviously, the DH will bat in his place, but number 19, Jaden Wright. So for him, the DH will be Kobe Johnson in the 8th spot. And for the Powell County Pirates, leading off will be the catcher, number 2, Drew Miller. Batting second, the center fielder, number 5, Levi Wells. Batting third, the shortstop, number 20, Carter Poe. Batting fourth, the pitcher, number 12, Lacey Dickin. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 10, Bo Begley. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 44, Jordan Del Rosario. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 9, Kane Knox. Batting eighth, the first baseman, 00, Ethan Wireman. And batting ninth, the third baseman, number 4, Dylan Trent. Tucker Ramsey, number 22, will be in the left field. Again, the DH will be Jordan Del Rosario. The Pirates, again, coached by Frank Spencer, and the Letcher County Central Cougars, coached by Matt Rigsby, again, coming in with that record of 0-1. They were a late arrival, therefore that's our delay. Might get started here in the next couple of minutes. I'm not sure if they'll be doing the national anthem or anything along those lines, how that will pan out here, but we're going to be 30 minutes delayed as far as actually getting the start. Not quite sure if we will have a sun delay as the sun sets at this point.
It's usually more about a couple weeks away, I believe, from when you really have the problem with the sun. I don't think you'll have a huge problem tonight. However, it'll be close. Again, a long drive from Letcher Central on a school night. This is to me is one of those games you really don't like to schedule. But you got to get them when you can get them. And I'll say this, what is March the 19th?
Yep.
I don't think you could have found a better day to play one.
Agreed. Yes, I would agree with that. It's just comfortable enough. The wind, not really too much wind right now. I will say this, too. The city of Stanton, they've used tarp, if you will, to cover up the outdoor fence.
Love
and then put an extra little section there in center field a netting there, and it looks like Whitaker Bank, I believe. It's hard to see there. I believe Whitaker Bank.
Batter's eye will be the black tarp plus an extra Whitaker Bank sign. A little bit further. That, I believe, is toward where the batting cage is set up, but still, makes it a lot friendlier. This is a tough place to hit for average. Always has been. This addition, I think, to this field is huge.
And the lights.
And you haven't seen them yet. We got the new lights. This will be the first time.
Yeah.
I guess we get to use these bad boys, right? We talked about them all year last year.
Yeah.
They're just kind of sitting out there waiting to get up, and finally up. We'll see what we got here probably by the fifth inning, I would think, fourth or fifth inning, depending on how the game goes. But again, it should be a good one. Again, opening day here for the Powell County Pirates. Game number 2 for the Letcher Central Cougars. So
we'll take a break. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and hopefully have the start of the game. You're listening to the Powell County Sports Network here on WSKV 104.9 FM.
Hello, I'm Brandy Kirk, Market President for CG Bank Stanton. Here at CG Bank, community means everything. It's why we do what we do. At CG Bank, we are your hometown bank, and we are here for you because we are you. We are not just building business, but building relationships. That's community banking. That's my bank. Stop by and visit us at 488 South Main Street in Stanton and see what community banking is all about, or visit us online at www.cg.bank.
Member FDIC, equal housing lender, loan subject to approval. Contact an employee for further information about applicable fees and terms.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
Brought to you by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and the Kentucky Athletic Administrators Association.
You're listening to the Powell County Sports Network.
Mercy Health Markham and Wallace Hospital provides a compassionate, ideal local solution for patients who need additional time to heal and strengthen before going home. The Swing Bed program can be a perfect fit for you if you need rehabilitation after orthopedic surgery or fracture, have suffered a stroke, receive long-term antibiotics, need wound care, or need to regain your strength and mobility. You have a choice in post-hospital care and can receive care right in Estill County. For more information on the Swing Bed program at Mercy Health Markham and Wallace, call Case Management at 606-726-2159.
Hearn Funeral Home has been family-owned since 1939 and is currently under the direction of Hondo Hearn. They have proudly served the families of Powell County and other surrounding counties for over 75 years, helping them to celebrate with compassionate care, dignity, and respect at an affordable price. Contact Hearn Funeral Home for all your pre-planning needs at 606-663-4375.
You're listening to PCSN. Powell County CSEP Director Kevin Babcock wants you to be prepared.
Like the Lady Pirates and Pirates, we train for success. Do you know your zone? Do you have an emergency plan? Be prepared. Have a disaster kit with water, non-perishable foods, clothes, toiletries, and anything else you may need. For information on how to prepare for an incident, stop by the Emergency Operations Center here in Stanton or contact the local CSEP office at 606-663-7560.
Your health means everything. And every minute matters when an emergency puts your health at risk. That's why it's essential to get the care you need as soon as possible. The emergency department at Clark Regional Medical Center is ready, providing quality care with the peace of mind of a certified chest pain center. Don't make your health wait. Get to the hospital. Clark Regional Medical Center. Learn more at clarkregional.org.
You're listening to the Powell County Sports Network. The Powell County Sports Network would like to thank their sponsors and encourage you to choose businesses and organizations that support the broadcast of our young athletes, including our platinum sponsors, Uniquely Kentucky, Whitaker Bank, and Just Know You're Taken Care of Wherever Life Takes You, CG Bank. Our gold sponsors, Mercy Health, Markham and Wallace Hospital, Friends and Family, Caring for Friends and Family, Powell County CSEP, encouraging you to be prepared and have an emergency plan, Appalachian Wireless, better service, bigger savings. Our silver sponsors, Hearn Funeral Home since 1939, Clark Regional Medical Center, care closer to home, Toyota South, exceptional customer service since 1915, Mountain Comprehensive Care Center, quality care that offers recovery and hope. Stanley's Hardware, the helpful place. Powell County Farm Bureau, big on commitment. Our bronze sponsors. Security and control from anywhere. Protect Security and Fire Systems. People serving people since 1912. People's Exchange Bank, helping families connect, honor, and remember. Wells Funeral Home. New items in stock. Allen's Hardware in Clay City. Gifts and more. The Candle Hutch. U.S.-based GTX Manufacturing. They love pirate sports, so let's love them back.
And welcome back here to the Charles Childers Field, Powell County City Park. This is Dave following along with Ken Simon, also Josie McClure, Ethan, and Katie Moore, all here tonight.
And Nevaeh Bridgeman back in the studio.
Sorry about that, Nevaeh. You're not here. That's why I was just thinking.
Yeah, there you go. That's all right. Don't want to forget her. She's a big help.
Big help. If we wouldn't her, we couldn't go on the air.
That's a fact.
By the way, we are available on YouTube, audio, video, Facebook Live, and WSKV, More Country Radio.
Which is exciting, right?
Yes.
You know, in so many ways, obviously the radio station has continued to grow as far as the coverage of the games, whether it's the YouTube channel, the Facebook, which obviously we've done since 2020, 2019, 2020, during that time period. Definitely makes a difference. Obviously, we'd love to see more fans to come out, right, you know, and actually watch the games. But if you can't make it, that's what we're here for. Not that we'll be covering every game by any stretch or anything, but we'll definitely have a big bulk of them. And the next time, actually, we'll be having a Pirate game will be next week as they'll play host to Perry County Central. I can't remember if that's a Wednesday or a Thursday game without actually looking on my calendar here real quick. But regardless, actually it's next Tuesday. I was right the first time. And then we'll have boys volleyball, their season opener, on the 26th as they'll play host to Buckhorn. So boys volleyball will be a new sport. Looking forward to that. And stepping up to the plate is...
break in Josie, maybe do some of those volleyball games for us. Do some
there you go.
A little bit of color.
Yeah.
What do you think?
She knows the game, that's for sure.
She brings us that expertise we all need.
So stepping up to the plate, the leadoff hitter, number 9, Dawson Kinzer. He is the catcher. Again, don't have any stats again. They just played their game last night against Breathitt County, so everybody is new here. And there is a single.
Maybe
that'll be a double. You're going to stretch it out.
I would.
Yep, and he's easily going to get there. He's going to slide in, but he is easily there. So a leadoff double for Dawson Kinzer to get the Cougars in scoring position.
Tell you what, first pitch fastball, hitting there for Kinzer. You got to like to see that. I know during warm-ups I was watching Lacey throw, had a lot of balls running inside. That ball was just a dead down the middle strike, and the batter did what you're supposed to do with it, kind of put the bat on it, let it go the other way.
Now the center fielder, number 8, Quentin Williams, up to the plate.
That's what I saw earlier, that pitch right there.
Outside for ball 1.
A little bit of run on that fastball.
Now, obviously, potentially, right, the wind now, of all things, it wasn't blowing. Now it's picked up here and it's blowing straight in.
We do have a wind advisory for today, so.
And that could affect, obviously, the ball.
I would play shallow right now.
There's a strike. That was a good pitch that time by Lacey Dickens. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Quentin Williams with the left fielder, number 24, Keaton Maggard on deck. Nobody out.
Yeah, this is maybe worse than a sun delay for your catcher, batter, umpire, the guys behind the plate, all the dust blowing up in your face, the leaves that are what's out there.
And not even 5 minutes ago, it wasn't even,
nice
you didn't even feel it, right? It's going to miss on the outside.
Also will affect the curveball. Again, that curveball just didn't have the break. Again, the wind blowing that ball this way, it was actually probably take a little bit of bite off that curveball. When
Lacey Dickens
ended up throwing with the wind, again, takes a little spin off the ball. Into the wind, going to spin more. Downwind, spin a little bit less. Got to be aware of that, too, for throwing the curveball.
So 2 balls and 1 strike to Quentin Williams. Here comes the pitch from Dickens. Well, long there on the inside.
Well,
it's high and inside, I guess.